No, deep ruts, yeah, those are difficult. You know, it's sometimes it's a little easier to slide back on the seat a little bit, you know, because you're not going to need that front end traction because the rut's so deep. So if you get back a little bit, it's easier to keep your leg up, put it up. If you got you're up forward, you know, your legs farther out towards the front end, so you have to keep it up even higher. So it's a little bit, it might be a little easier to slide back a little bit and go through it, and then it's easier to put your leg up and it's out of the way. It's like if you drive a car and you look right past the hood, you start hitting the lines all over the place, you know. If you look up about half a mile, you can drive with no hands, you know, you can drive with your knees. And I don't recommend that, but, you know, and that's the same thing in the motorcycle. If you're looking straight down here, you can't see what's coming up, so you ride tighter. You're standing up like this. If you're looking ahead here, you go where your eyes go. Have you ever noticed when you're riding, you're looking at a rock over here, you start getting closer, closer, closer because you're looking at it. And through a rut, if you come into it and look to the end of it, you go where your eyes go. And that's when you don't hold on tight. It's all one motion. Just. The most important things are looking ahead in the corner when you enter the rut. You know, looking towards the end of the rut, trying to keep your leg off the ground as much as possible. If you hit your ground, your bike will stand up, or it'll bring you back on the bike, and then you're off balance. Sometimes there's bumps before it, so if there's bumps, you're standing up, and then right when you enter the corner, you want to sit down, look ahead, get on the gas. It's kind of one motion. Right. If it's smooth, you're kind of sitting down, and then you can, you know, you're already sitting down, so you get in the corner, leg out, look ahead, on the gas. And for me, I think everything should be kind of like one motion. You know, it's not like, okay, I sit down, okay, now I got my leg out, okay, now I gas it. No, it's all one, just rah. And that's why it looks like, you know, when you watch the pros, it's all flow, you know, everything's just happening like that. Not, okay, I did this, okay, now do this, now do this. You don't even think about it. It's just bam, bam, bam. These whoops here aren't tractor made, they're more made by the motorcycle, you know, more naturally made. With these, you know, you kind of want to keep your front wheel up, because each time you get your front wheel in, you have the suspension will go down, you'll catch air, you'll, you know, lose a forward momentum. So for me, I like to come through these and get my back wheel in every hole. Every hole I get in, I try to work it, kind of row it like you're rowing a boat, so you can keep the back wheel in each hole like this, instead of hitting off the top and losing that momentum, or getting your front end like this so you're bouncing. When you're going through, is a combination of, you know, pulling up on the bars and pushing down with your peg. I pull back enough just to have the front wheel up. You got to feel it too. You got to feel that your back wheel is going in every hole and your front wheel is going over the top of the jump. You know, you don't want to do a giant wheelie, but just enough to get the front wheel over and keep the back wheel into the holes. Anytime on a bike you can wheelie stuff, you'll go faster. Same works with sand, hard pack, you know, loamy conditions. Anytime you have, you know, rough section, whoop section like that, that is not like a stadium section. You want to kind of manual it, as if you watch the BMX riders, how they manual stuff. Same thing on a motorcycle, but you got the power to be able to keep your front wheel up. You play with the throttle a little bit, but in other times you just leave it pinned. You got to kind of be one with the motorcycle. You know, it's hard to say that in this section you do this scenario you do this. Every time's different, every lap's different. You know, so you could go through the same section 30 times and 15 of them will probably be a little bit different. Probably the size of them. These are rounded, so it's you know, they're very far apart, probably good, you know, 10 feet apart from tip to tip, but they're rounded, so you can you know, you can judge, okay, if I skim them and I get into the bottom of them, it's going to be no big deal. If these were real peak, no, I wouldn't try to skim them. I would double through them or try to triple through them, whatever. But with the way they are, you can carry a lot of speed them and just carry off the tops. I know what I'm doing when I come out of that corner, and that's why I start shifting up, you know, probably 4th, 5th gear through these. Make sure you're in the middle of the bike or forward. Have your head over the crossbar, not too far, not back, because if you're too far back and that bike end kicks you in the butt, you're going to go over the bars. Your feet are going to come up the peg. In the middle, the bike can be you're balanced like this. If you're back here, the bike kicks you in the butt, and that's when you see people's feet come off. You got to be in a high enough gear so you don't run out of gear. You got to be on the balls of your feet, I feel, so you can be quick on your bike. Grip your bike with your legs and look ahead 2 or 3 whoops ahead so you know what's coming up.
Okay, with these jumps here, it's kind of a rhythm section. It's depending on what bike you have. 125 probably to 250F, you're going to triple coming in. If you had a 450, you possibly could quad. You want to stay forward, try to stay as low as you can off each one. Get as much traction, as much drive as you can too, because that always picks up speed. Body positioning is more over the front end, so you don't get kicked from the back end, and you can be more aggressive that way. Downside it a little easier. These, sometimes it looks like you can skim through them, but they're a bit of a distance to skim through them. Maybe like say on a 450 you probably could, because you have that momentum, that power. On a smaller bike you're going to have to jump through them, and they're not really steep enough to tap off them. They're kind of rolling ones, so you kind of only have one way to do it, but if that's the only way, then do it the best way and the fastest way.